lesson, I'm going to show you how to get the probability in case of given a equation. Like I have an equation here which say that a student picks an orange from a basket of 5 oranges, of which 2 were ripe and 3 unripe. Find the probability that the student picked a ripe orange. That's Roman number 1. Then Roman number 2, also they're saying unripe orange. So how are we going to get the probability of? Always you remember with the probability, for those who like playing Ludo, you know, when you throw a dice, when you toss your dice, the probability of a number to come a 1 or 6 or 5 is a half. So for you to get that probability is a half for you to get it. So it can either come or it cannot come what you need. So now in this equation, what are we going to do in such a type of equation? First of all, in our solution, we have the number of the number of samples we are given to be 5. We have a number of samples. Number of samples, there are 5. So those are the number of samples, which means they are the total number of oranges which were in the basket. So then we have the number of ripe oranges. We're also given here to be 2. Number of ripe oranges, there are 2. Then so we are told to get what? We are told to get the what? The probability of picking what? Picking a ripe orange. What's the probability? So in the simple form, how you're going to get this probability? You're going to say the students picked ripe oranges. There were how many? There were so in your formula you could say a student picked ripe oranges is the same as they're saying a number of ripe oranges divided by number of samples, the total number of oranges which were in the basket. So this one will give you the same as to have this is the number of ripe oranges were 2. Then out of 2 out of what? Out of 5. 2 out of 5. And that's your what? And that's your probability of picking a ripe oranges. It was 2 out of 5, and that's your probability. And that was in the question Roman number 1. That was the probability of picking the ripe oranges. It was 2 out of 5. Then we have in the Roman number 2. Roman number 2 also we are told to get the probability of picking unripe oranges. Unripe oranges. We are also told to get the probability of a student to pick the what? The unripe oranges. Still here, since you've got from the first the Roman number 1, you will still use the same format. You will just say the number of unripe oranges. There were how many? There were 3. So the number of unripe oranges, then your number of the sample, the total number of oranges in the basket. Number of sample were 5. So a student picked unripe oranges. It was is equal to number of unripe oranges in the basket divided by number of sample, the total number of oranges in the basket. So this one will give us to have this one. The unripe oranges were 3. Then the sample, our sample oranges, the total number of oranges, there were 5. And that marks off your what? The probability of picking the unripe oranges. And that's how you work it out, that type of equation, in case when you get. So you find that the probability for you to pick of ripe oranges is 2 out of 5. Then the probability of picking unripe oranges was 3 out of 5. That's what I was telling you in the first, that when you are tossing your dice, the probability of coming to be either 2 is a half. You know, with the dice it has up to 6. So the sample a number of the dice is there 6. So whereby for you to toss, when you toss 1, it can either come 2 out of 6 or 5 out of 6. So that's the probability. Thank you for being part of this this lesson. I guess you've known how to get to the probability. Thank you. See you in the next video.